My wife Willow always loves to make a scene for no reason, like seriously for no damn reason. Just because my neighbor girl Anna returned to the country, she keeps finding excuses to pick fights with me, non-stop drama. For example, she called me and said, "Gio, I'm sick. I feel terrible. Can you come stay with me tonight?" Sounding all weak and pitiful. I simply agreed out of kindness, just being a decent human, but Willow completely lost her mind and demanded a breakup, like she went nuclear. I shouted angrily, "Do you have any compassion at all? She's almost collapsing and you're still here being jealous, acting crazy. She just came back to the country the day before yesterday. She knows nothing about this city. She doesn't even know where the hospital is. What's wrong with me accompanying her for a while? What's the big deal?" Later at the banquet, Anna slipped and fell into my arms, straight up accident. I only gently supported her for a moment, literally 1 second, yet Willow flew into a rage like a madwoman trying to slap Anna, totally unhinged. She yelled furiously, "You damn pretentious coquette, I've tolerated you for a long time," losing it completely. Anna's little face turned pale as she hid behind me, looking scared as hell. She said softly, "Gio, your girlfriend is so scary. Not like me. I only know how to feel sorry for brother Gio," playing the soft card. So I pulled Anna behind me protectively and scolded Willow angrily, "Stop making a scene for no reason." Chapter 1, Valentine's Day. I had prepared for a long time, carefully arranging a candlelit dinner, went all out. But when Willow lowered her head to play with her phone again, I couldn't help asking Willow, "Who are you chatting with?" Willow smiled. "Makoto." I froze for a moment and frowned, like what the hell? "Willow, we're on a date and you're chatting with Makoto." Seeing the look on my face, Willow put down her phone. All right, I'll stop. Don't be mad, acting casual." I tried to ignore the displeasure in my heart and changed the subject to lighten the mood, forcing it. But the phone vibrated again. And again. A third time. Willow couldn't resist. She picked up her phone, glanced at it, and smiled as she typed a reply, totally absorbed. After replying, she looked up at me and asked, "What were you saying just now?" Lacking any interest, I said, "Nothing. Let's eat." Willow lowered her head and ate, chatting on her phone as she did, multitasking like it's nothing. I had completely lost my appetite. I put down my knife and fork and said, "Isn't chatting on the phone unsatisfying? Why don't you just go find him in person?" "Yeah," I snapped. Willow looked up and frowned. "Do you think we're flirting or something? Figures? Dirty-minded people see dirt everywhere. You're always suspicious for no reason. Fine, then take a look and see how innocent we are." She handed her phone to me, showing me the chat history. I glanced down at the WeChat messages. They weren't flirting. They were talking about me. Makoto kept asking about the details of today's date and Willow answered in great detail. What gift I prepared for her, how I performed what I said, everything down to the smallest detail, like a full play-by-play. Makoto was responsible for commenting. In disbelief, I said, "Willow, are you live streaming our date to Makoto?" Willow looked completely matter-of-fact. Yeah. So angry that I shot to my feet, I said, "This is a date between the two of us. Why are you telling Makoto all this?" Willow froze for a second, then pouted and said, "We had already planned to go hiking together today, but because of you I had to cancel at the last minute. And Makoto didn't mind at all. He even drove me here himself. George, when will you learn to be considerate of girls like other people?" Straight up blaming me. In an instant a loud buzzing filled my ears. I stood there stunned. I looked at Willow and asked in disbelief, "So you're saying that on Valentine's Day you plan to go hiking with another guy?" Willow nodded. Yeah. We agreed to watch the sunrise together at the mountaintop that day. She tilted her head, her tone sweet. "I'm telling you, Makoto is really such a great guy. He even helped me pick out this dress today. Doesn't it look good?" Flexing it. Looking at the sheer black gauze dress she was wearing, far too revealing, I was even more shocked. "He gave this to you, Willow. How can you accept gifts from another man?" Willow shot back, "So what?" My breathing caught. "So what?" She actually said, "So what?" At that moment the phone in my hand rang. The screen showed Makoto. Willow snatched the phone away. "Makoto, what's wrong?" I stared blankly at my now empty palm. From the other end came his voice. "Willow, I think I'm sick. I'm not feeling very well." In the quiet restaurant, Makoto's voice was perfectly clear. Willow asked nervously, "What's wrong? Where do you feel uncomfortable?" Makoto said, "I'm not sure. I feel dizzy, maybe I have a fever? After the call ended, Willow said to me awkwardly, George Makoto is sick. He hasn't been back in the country for long and isn't familiar with this place. I'm going to accompany him to the hospital. I reached out and grabbed her. But today is Valentine's Day. I specially prepared this dinner for you, and today is also. Willow replied, I know, but I'm already full. She brushed my hand away and hurried off. I stood there staring blankly at her retreating figure, my heart unbearably empty, hollow as hell. I got up ready to leave, but a waiter hurried after me. Sir, wait. I turned around in confusion. What is it? Sir, you haven't paid the bill yet. I was full of question marks as she added. Miss Liu took 2 bottles of red wine with her when she left. I was speechless, completely done. In that moment, I couldn't even describe how I felt. After swiping my card, I left the restaurant in a sorry state. A cold wind blew and the chill spread from my chest to my limbs. With trembling hands, I lit a cigarette, trying to drive away the cold. Half a year ago, when Makoto returned to the country, the relationship between Willow and me started to become strange. He had once been the person Willow had secretly loved, her idealized first love, the one who got away. Whenever Willow was with me, a single phone call from Makoto was enough to summon her away, instantly. When we went on dates, Makoto often showed up. He and Willow would laugh and joke together while I followed behind them alone like a third wheel. Over time, resentment grew in my heart. So we often argued because of him. Willow would accuse me of being petty, saying I was too narrow-minded, that if anything were really going on between them, there wouldn't be any place left for me anyway. After what happened today, I suddenly felt exhausted, drained completely. The phone rang. I took it out and looked. Caller ID Anna. Anna was a girl who used to be my neighbor, 2 years younger than me. She had gone abroad during high school and we hadn't seen each other for many years. The day before yesterday, she somehow got my phone number and suddenly called me saying she had returned to the country and wanted me to pick her up. I felt it was very abrupt, and since I was busy, I politely declined. Tonight she called again. Chapter 2. I hesitated for a moment before answering. From the other end came her voice. Gio, brother. It was soft and gentle, very pleasant to hear. I asked Anna what's wrong. She said, Gio, my stomach hurts. I asked, is it bad? You should go to the hospital right away. She said, but I only came back to the country the day before yesterday. I don't know this city at all. I don't even know where the hospitals are. Gio, I don't know anyone else. You're the only one I know. Why does this feel so familiar? I thought about it for a moment before realizing, wasn't this exactly the reason Willow had just used to go to Makoto? After a brief silence, I said, Anna, if it's really that uncomfortable, you can take a taxi to the hospital. Anna said tearfully, Gio, it hurts so much I can barely walk. Can you take me to the hospital? She continued, Gio, you're the only person I know. I came back the day before yesterday and you ignored me. Are you going to refuse me again today? She sounded so upset she was on the verge of breaking apart. A strong sense of guilt rose in me and I hurriedly said, wait for me. I'll come right away. Anna had lost both her parents years ago. Because of inheritance disputes, she had cut ties with her relatives and she had no friends. She really only knew me. She wasn't lying that I had refused to pick her up the other day, and now I was about to refuse to take her to the hospital too. My conscience ached. No, I couldn't just leave her alone. I had to go help her. When I arrived at the hotel, the door was wide open. I walked in and called softly, Anna. A voice came from the bed. Brother Gio, I'm here. Following the sound, I looked over. The blanket on the bed shifted and a delicate, pitiful little face peeked out. My breath caught. Her skin was snow white, her hair pitch black. Clear eyes, a straight nose bridge, rosy lips. Young, beautiful, with a hint of innocent naivety. She had been pretty back then. I hadn't expected that after a few years she'd become even more beautiful. Like a finely crafted porcelain doll. She said softly, though. Anna's voice was sweet and tender, tinged with grievance. That face was devastating. Just hearing her call me like that made my heart melt instantly. Does it still hurt? I hurried over to ask. Anna said pitifully, it hurts. I said, come on, let's go to the hospital. She nodded obediently. I helped Anna to the nearest top-tier hospital. She seemed to be in real pain and leaned against me the whole way. Though her face looked like a doll's, her figure was tall and striking. A sweet innocent face paired with a commanding elegant height. Standing so close her scorching body heat passed through the soft fabric to my arm and palm racing along my nerves straight to my heart. How should I describe it? I felt like a half-dried banana slightly curling from the heat, parched and restless. Anna seemed to notice my discomfort and said softly, "Gio, it's okay. You don't need to hold me." She forced herself to stand straight, her body leaving my shoulder. My mind settled a bit and I slowly let out a breath. But the next second, a cold wind blew past. Dressed lightly, Anna hugged herself tightly. She said, "Gio, I can walk on my own." "I'm fine." She coughed violently. Her pale face flushed faintly red and her dark eyes welled with moisture. Guilt flooded me instantly. I said, "Put this on." I took off my jacket and handed it to her. Anna shook her head and refused. "I can't do that. You'll catch a cold too." She refused even as she shivered uncontrollably. Her figure was incredible, at least 175 centimeters tall, slim waist, long legs, curves in all the right places, giving off an almost aggressive allure. But her doll-like face, pitiful and vulnerable, softened that sharp sensuality. I suddenly remembered how she used to crouch alone in the stairwell, secretly crying, frail, pitiful, lonely, and helpless. It overlapped perfectly with the Anna before me now. My heart softened. "Put it on," I said. "I'm sturdy and resistant to the cold." "You're sick. You can't catch another cold." She shook her head stubbornly. "You wear it." "I'm not cold." Helpless, I said, "Then we'll wear it together." Anna looked up at me in surprise. "Gio, is that okay?" I nodded. "It is." She hesitated, then said softly, "Thank you, brother Gio." So I took off my jacket, draped it over my own shoulders, then lifted part of it to cover her as well. Warmth rose inside the jacket, mixed with a faint, lingering smell of tobacco. My brain short-circuited and I blurted out just to say something. "Do you smoke?" Her body stiffened and she hurriedly said, "Gio, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't get tattoos, and I don't go clubbing. I'm a good girl." I was speechless. Chapter 3. We arrived at the hospital. It was already 9 in the evening, and at that hour only the emergency department was open. I led Anna into the emergency hall. The moment we walked in, I saw Willow supporting Makoto at the nurse's station. She was speaking anxiously to one of the nurses. My steps faltered. "Why were they here?" Anna asked in confusion. "Gio, what's wrong?" I came back to my senses. "Nothing." Then as calmly as I could I supported Anna and walked over to the nurse's station. "Nurse, we'd like to see a doctor." The free nurse asked, "What's the problem?" "Stomach pain," I replied. A surprised voice came from the side. "George, why are you here?" I turned around. Willow's gaze darted back and forth between Anna and me. Suddenly she abandoned the pale-faced Makoto and strode over, demanding sharply, "Who is she? Why are you two together?" Her face was flushed, her emotions clearly agitated. I froze for a second, only then realizing that Anna was still wrapped in my jacket. It was a bit awkward. I lifted the jacket and said calmly, "Let me introduce her. This is my little sister Anna." Willow stared deeply at Anna, then turned to me. "Your sister? Since when did you have a sister?" "I don't know about," I said. "She's a former neighbor. I've always treated her like a younger sister. She went abroad a few years ago and just came back recently." Anna gave Willow a friendly yet weak smile. Willow said coldly, "A neighbor's sister. That means you're basically strangers. Why are you together so late at night?" I was full of question marks. "She was here late at night with Makoto and she had the nerve to question me." Anna leaned toward me and whispered, "Gio, who is this woman? She's so fierce." Willow's face darkened instantly as she snapped, "Who are you pretending for?" Anna, startled, lowered her head and didn't dare speak again. The pitiful look she wore made my heart ache. I finally couldn't hold back anymore and said angrily, "Willow, Anna is sick." "Why are you yelling at her?" Willow's eyes widened in shock. "I'm yelling at her." "George, look carefully. I'm your girlfriend. You two come in here being all intimate and I'm not even allowed to ask one question." The nearby nurses immediately pricked up their ears. Anna looked shocked. You two are a couple." She held onto my hand and gently urged, "Gio, don't argue because of me." Then she turned to Willow. "Miss, it's all my fault. I'm sick and all alone here, so I had no choice but to ask Gio for help. Gio was kind enough to bring me to the hospital. There's nothing between us. If I had known you two would argue because of me, I would never have asked Gio for help. Please don't let me affect your relationship." I lifted my chin. Did you hear that? Willow froze, opened her mouth, looking aggrieved but unable to refute a word. Makoto, who had been sitting on a chair watching, stood up and came over to mediate. George, don't get upset. Willow came to the hospital with me because she was worried about me. There's nothing between us. Please don't misunderstand. If I'd known you two would argue over this, I would never have troubled Willow. The moment the words left his mouth, everyone's expressions turned a little strange. For the first time, Willow looked at Makoto with a scrutinizing gaze. Makoto, not understanding why, stepped in front of me again and said hypocritically, George, when it comes down to it, this is all my fault. If I hadn't gotten sick, Willow wouldn't have come with me. If you want to blame someone, blame me. Don't argue because of me. I was speechless. In the past I might have actually swung at him. But with Anna by my side, my emotions were relatively stable. I said expressionlessly, we're not arguing because of you. Don't flatter yourself. Makoto was left so awkward he didn't know how to respond. Anna coughed softly beside me and said gently, Willow, this is all my fault. If I hadn't gotten sick, Gio wouldn't have brought me to the hospital and you two wouldn't have run into each other and argued. If you're angry, scold me instead. Willow's anger exploded instantly. She screeched, this is between George and me. What are you supposed to be? What right do you have to speak here? Don't think I can't hear how fake and affected you're being. Makoto's expression stiffened slightly. Chapter 4. I glanced at Makoto and said to Willow, you're right. This is between you and me. It's not anyone else's place to interfere, right? Makatini. Willow suddenly froze. She must have remembered that Makoto had just said something very similar. Just as the atmosphere grew stiff, Makoto suddenly clutched his head. His body swayed as if he were about to collapse the next second. Willow didn't bother questioning anything else. Instinctively, she reached out to support him. Makoto, are you okay? Makoto shook his head and patted her hand. I'm fine, Willow. Don't worry about me. He shot me an obscure glance, his meaning unclear. Seeing how intimate the two of them looked, a surge of suffocation rose in my chest. At that moment, Anna suddenly pressed a hand to her chest. Gio, it hurts so much. How much longer until I can see a doctor? I hurried to support her and said to the nurse, let's continue with the registration. Forget it, seeing a doctor came first. We could settle accounts later. When Willow saw me holding Anna, she grew even angrier. She shoved Makoto away and rushed over without thinking, grabbing my arm. She shouted at Anna, you damn pretentious coquette, pretending to be sick and acting pitiful. That's disgusting. Anna's face turned pale. She widened her eyes in fear and said, Willow, I don't know why you hate me so much. Did I do something wrong? Then she turned to me, calling out with grievance, Gio? I forcefully shook off Willow's hand, walked over to Anna and supported her. Then I roared at Willow, what did Anna do wrong for you to bully her like this? Are you out of your mind? Willow stamped her feet anxiously. She's obviously faking it. Can't you see what she's thinking about you? My anger flared even hotter. I snapped, you're the one pretending. Anna bit her lip and lowered her head. Please don't argue because of me. Her eyes reddened slightly. She was clearly in terrible pain, yet she still swallowed her grievance. I finally lost all patience and shouted at Willow, can you stop making a scene for no reason? Anna is in so much pain she can barely walk and you're accusing her of faking it. Willow, you're absolutely unreasonable. You're always so suspicious, it's suffocating. I can't breathe anymore. Willow was struck hard. She stared at me in disbelief. Me unreasonable? The scene felt strangely familiar. After thinking for a moment, I suddenly remembered. Once before, Makoto had fallen ill late at night and called Willow over. I grabbed her and said Makoto was faking it. Back then Willow said I was a grown man being petty, said that even if Makoto had ulterior motives she never would, and accused me of lacking even the most basic trust between lovers, saying I was suffocating her too. I never imagined that one day I'd throw those same words back at her. I couldn't be bothered to deal with Willow anymore. After finishing the registration at the nurse's station, I took Anna to sit on a long bench, then hurried off with the forms to get a number. Soon after, Willow came to register as well, lining up behind me. Her voice, laced with resentment, came from behind. What exactly is your relationship with that? Anna? Without turning my head, I replied, I already told you, she's my sister. Willow didn't believe it. She said you two are that close. Are you really just brother and sister? I took a deep breath and turned to her. Willow, you and Makoto were practically about to hug just now. Isn't that intimate too? Willow explained. How is that the same? He's sick and almost fainted. I was just supporting him. I said Anna is sick too. She can't even walk properly, that's why I supported her all the way into the hospital. Willow opened her mouth but couldn't say a word. It was my turn to register. I stepped forward, finished quickly, and hurried away. When I ran back to the emergency hall, I comforted Anna. There aren't many people ahead of you. It should be your turn soon, hang in there a bit longer. Anna gave a weak smile. Thank you, Gio. She then took my hand. Gio, you sit too. Don't tire yourself out. Warmth rose in my chest. I followed her lead and sat down beside her. Willow finished registering as well. When she saw me sitting next to Anna, her eyes instantly went red with anger. She rushed over and shouted, George, don't you know to keep some distance? I'm your girlfriend. Anna blinked innocently. Willow, you were hugging that man over there too. You didn't keep your distance either. Willow choked, then hurriedly argued, Makoto is seriously ill. I was just helping him. Anna said calmly, I'm seriously ill too. Gio is helping me as well. And you arrived earlier than us but registered later. That means his condition isn't that serious after all. You just accused me of faking it, but I think that man is the one faking being sick. Willow exploded. She shoved Anna and screeched, I'm talking to George. Who do you think you are interrupting me? I shot to my feet and slapped Willow across the face. Get lost! Smack! A loud sharp slap echoed through the hall. Willow covered her face and stared at me in shock, her eyes filled with disbelief and hurt. Choking back tears, she said, George, you hit me. I said coldly, you're being unreasonable, vicious and sharp-tongued. You've bullied an innocent sick Anna over and over again. You think you didn't deserve that? Willow stared at me, her lips trembling. I felt dazed again. This scene too felt eerily familiar. Back then when Makoto provoked me and I laid a hand on him, Willow had condemned me in exactly this way. Chapter 5. Anna tugged gently at my sleeve and said softly, Gio, don't be angry. Willow didn't mean it. Then she turned to Willow with sincerity. Willow, you have to believe Gio and me. It really isn't as disgraceful as you think between us. Please don't misunderstand. Willow grew even angrier. At that moment Makoto walked over and said, George, Willow has already been through so much. You're a grown man, how could you hit a woman? Anna replied, old man, that's not right of you to say. Willow was yelling at me just now and Gio only acted to protect me. You feel sorry for Willow, sure, but don't smear Gio with false accusations, everyone's watching. Makoto was speechless. Anna was far better at talking than I was. Seeing the defeated look on Makoto's face, I couldn't help but laugh. Anna then turned to me and said, Gio, he does have a point too. Willow rushing over to take care of him must have been exhausting. Gio, don't lay hands on Willow because of me. Hearing that, I immediately thought of how Willow had abandoned me to go take care of Makoto. Any trace of regret vanished at once. I said coldly, Willow, since you're working so hard to take care of Makoto, then take him aside and let him rest properly. Stop coming over here to cause trouble. Willow hurriedly explained, George, I'm not tired. No, that's not the point. I just want to talk to you properly. I turned my head away indifferently. There's nothing to talk about. Just then the loudspeaker called Anna's number. I supported Anna and led her into the consultation room. Willow chased after us calling out, George, George, but I had already taken Anna inside. The doctor diagnosed Anna with mild gastroenteritis. After we left the consultation room, I said, you've got quite a sharp tongue, kid. The way you talked just now probably pissed them off to death. Anna blinked at me. Because I have to stand on Gio's side. They were being so excessive. Of course I had to help you. Warmth spread through my chest. To be honest, I had already noticed that Anna was a bit of a pretentious coquette. But I couldn't bring myself to dislike her at all. She had been helping me the whole time. If it hadn't been for her today, the moment I saw Willow being intimate with Makoto, I probably would have been overwhelmed by rage and lost control with no idea what consequences might have followed. With Anna by my side today, I didn't lose my composure. A pretentious coquette this considerate is really hard to resist. Thinking of Willow's so-called male best friend, I finally understood. This is what it feels like to have someone who notices when you're cold or tired, someone who truly looks out for you. No wonder her. I wanted to protect Anna too. Question the pretentious coquette. Understand the pretentious coquette. Like the pretentious coquette. After Anna finished seeing the doctor, I took a taxi and sent her back to her hotel. Anna wanted me to stay and chat. I felt it wouldn't be appropriate. After all, I hadn't broken up yet, and I shouldn't stay overnight with another woman. Ignoring her pleas, I left firmly. After leaving the hotel, I called Willow. I planned to talk things through, about the two of us. The call connected. Makoto's voice came through. "George, sorry. Could you wait a moment? Willow is still in the shower. She'll call you back later." His words were filled with apology along with an unmistakable hint of smug satisfaction. Makoto was always very well-mannered. He never cursed or insulted anyone, always speaking with refined politeness. Yet every time he spoke, the things he said managed to stir my emotions violently. I was stunned. Willow was actually showering at Makoto's place. What surprised me even more was that I didn't feel angry. Maybe because I had already been mentally prepared. When Willow and Makoto truly ended up sleeping together, my emotions were strangely calm. Makoto hung up right after speaking. "Sir, aren't you getting in?" I snapped back to reality and realized the ride-hailing car had stopped beside me at some point. I got into the car thinking, if Makoto and Willow have already slept together, is there even any need to talk? My dating experience isn't particularly rich. Willow was the longest relationship I'd ever had and the one I invested the most in. Her cheating, of course, made me furious. I don't know about others, but at least for me, my emotions fluctuated intensely. As I thought about all the moments from the past, my feelings gradually spiraled. I started getting worked up again, anger, resentment, even hatred, so strong that I wanted to rush over and find the two of them immediately. Just as I took out my phone to call back, a name suddenly popped up on the screen: Anna. I answered irritably. "What is it?" Anna said. "Gio, have you gotten home yet?" "Not yet." She said, "Is something wrong between you and Willow?" "No." She said, "Gio, if you're unhappy, you have to say it out loud. Don't keep everything bottled up. No matter what happens, I'm on your side." I replied, "Thank you, goodbye." I was eager to call Willow. Just as I was about to hang up, the other end suddenly said, "Gio, happy birthday." I froze. "Huh?" Anna said softly. "Did I remember it wrong? I'm sorry." I snapped out of my surprise and quickly said, "No, you didn't. I'm surprised you still remember after all these years. In fact, besides being Valentine's Day, today was also my birthday." I never would have imagined that Anna, who had been gone for 8 years, would still remember my birthday. Compared to that, Willow. I smiled faintly. It felt as though my heart had been lifted out of icy water and placed into a hot spring, warming up all at once. Chapter 6. Anna said softly, "Gio, reach into your pocket." I hurriedly checked and pulled out a small box. I was surprised. When had Anna put this in there? I opened the box. Inside lay a finely crafted wristwatch. The dial was made of polished metal and sapphire crystal, reflecting a clear, deep glow. I stared at the watch, utterly amazed. If this were real, how expensive would it be? It was probably a replica, but even if it was, at this very moment I was deeply moved. Because only then did I realize, so I could receive gifts too. My voice was hoarse as I said, "Thank you. This is the best birthday gift I've ever received." Anna smiled lightly. "As long as you like it. It's your birthday today and I still made you run around for me and upset you. I'm really sorry." Her voice was full of grievance and self-blame. I hurried to say, "No, it's not like that. This has nothing to do with you." Anna said, "I feel like I ruined your relationship with Willow. It's all my fault. Gio, will I still be able to see you in the future? I caused you two to argue tonight. Maybe I should leave and stop bothering you and Willow." I immediately said, "Don't, just stay. What happened today has nothing to do with you. I've never liked talking about my private matters with people I'm not close to." But Anna remembered my birthday, gave me a gift, and even wanted to leave out of guilt. What a kind, pitiful person. How could I let her keep blaming herself? I ended up telling her everything that happened that night. After listening, Anna sighed. "Gio, this is all Willow's fault. It has nothing to do with you. Someone as good as you, and she doesn't even know how to cherish you. If it were someone else, how could they ever bear to let you lose like this?" Warmth rose in my heart. "Really?" Anna said, "Of course." Without realizing it, I chatted with her the entire way home. Only after I arrived did I remember that I'd forgotten to call Willow. The emotions had already passed. I no longer had the energy to question anything. Forget it. I turned off my phone, tidied up, and went to sleep. When I turned my phone back on the next morning, I saw more than a dozen missed calls from Willow. She had also sent many messages on WeChat, constantly questioning why I'd turned off my phone, asking whether I was with Anna. Then apologizing, saying she shouldn't have left alone on Valentine's Day. Saying she wanted to make it up to me. Looking at those apologetic messages, I paused slightly. In my relationship with Willow, it had always been me who lowered my head first. Now the roles were reversed. I didn't know what I was feeling. It was like finally getting a response after waiting for so long, only to realize I no longer needed it. I replied with a single message, "Let's break up." After sending it, I got ready and went to work. In the elevator at the office, I ran into Willow. She hurriedly squeezed beside me and whispered, "Honey, I'm really sorry about last night. Can we not break up?" My phone vibrated. I lowered my head and looked. Anna had sent a cute emoji, "Good morning." I couldn't help smiling and replied, "Good morning." She replied instantly, "At work already?" I answered, "Yeah, at work." After replying, I looked up and asked Willow, "What did you just say?" Willow was speechless. After a moment of silence, she said softly, "Nothing. I'll get off first." Willow and I worked in the same building but at different companies. She had to get off first. I said, "Oh." Then I ignored her, lowered my head again, and continued chatting with Anna. That evening after work, just as I walked out of the company building, I saw Willow standing at the entrance. That was rare. She actually came to wait for me after work. Willow was beautiful, and with that beauty came a natural pride. It had always been me waiting for her. This was the first time she was waiting for me. I didn't feel happy. Maybe I would have in the past, but now I no longer had that feeling. When she saw me, Willow put on a bright smile and waved happily. "George the First booked a really great restaurant. Let's go eat together tonight." I sidestepped her and walked past toward the elevator, replying coldly, "No time." Willow grabbed my sleeve anxiously. "George, let's talk properly. Even if we're breaking up, shouldn't we at least talk it through? You just suddenly sent me a message saying we're breaking up. I can't accept that, and I don't want to. Aren't you going to give me even one chance?" People were coming and going around us, casting curious glances our way. Willow clutched my sleeve tightly, lowering her voice as she pleaded. I rarely saw her look so humble. She had always been proud in front of me. Especially after Makoto appeared, she grew increasingly impatient with me. Now that we were breaking up, I had assumed she'd accept it happily and go off to be with Makoto. I never expected her to lower herself like this to try to keep me. It surprised me a little. After thinking it over, I nodded. "All right. Let's talk." Willow let out a sigh of relief. It was rush hour and the roads were heavily congested. Willow kept talking to me non-stop, desperately trying to find topics to chat about. I remembered how it used to be me doing exactly this. Now that the roles were reversed, my feelings were complicated. Back then I never ran out of things to say with her. Everything she talked about interested me. But now I felt utterly indifferent. My phone rang again. The screen read, "Gio, are you off work yet?" I replied, "Yeah, I'm off." She asked, "Do you have time to eat together?" I replied, "Sorry, I already have plans tonight." She asked, "With who, Willow?" "Did you and Willow make up?" I replied, "Not really." The next second, a female voice came from beside me. "Who are you chatting with?" I looked up. Willow's expression was tightly restrained. I said, "Anna." Chapter 7. Willow's lips moved slightly as she forced herself to say, "Oh, what are you chatting about?" I couldn't be bothered to respond to her. I lowered my head and kept typing. "Nothing." Willow stopped talking. We arrived at the restaurant in silence. Sitting across from me, Willow began apologizing, saying she shouldn't have left yesterday and that she hoped we wouldn't break up. I said, "You've already slept with Makoto. Why wouldn't we break up?" Willow looked shocked. "No, I didn't." I shrugged. "I called you last night. Makoto picked up and said you were showering at his place." Willow hurriedly explained, "That's not true at all. I was pouring him some water last night and accidentally spilled it on myself. That's why I showered at his place. I left right after I finished." I was speechless. "Oh." Willow started explaining everything that had happened between her and Makoto. My phone vibrated. I took it out and glanced at the screen. Anna sent, "Gio, I'm so hungry." I replied, "If you're hungry, eat." Anna replied, "I don't feel like eating anything." "Have you eaten, Gio?" I said, I'm eating now. Anna asked, "What are you eating?" I glanced at the dishes on the table, took a photo and sent it to her. "Just these?" Anna asked again. "What dishes are those? They look really good." I told her the names of the dishes I remembered. We were chatting happily when my phone was suddenly snatched away. I looked up. Willow's face was extremely unpleasant as she said, "I'm talking to you and you're chatting with another woman." I frowned and reached out my hand. "Give me my phone." Willow studied my expression for a moment, then returned it reluctantly. I took the phone, finished typing my last message and sent it. Only then did I look at Willow. "I remember yesterday when we were on our date you were chatting pretty happily with Makoto at the table, and even live streaming our date to him." Willow opened her mouth then said softly, "I'm sorry." I shook my head. "No need to apologize. If you mind you can chat with Makoto right now too." "I don't care. You chat yours, I flirt mine." "That works just fine." Willow lowered her head for a moment. When she looked up again her eyes were slightly red. "I'm sorry. I only understand how you felt now." "I'm sorry," she kept repenting. I was getting a little annoyed. In the past I had hoped she would change. But that hope lasted too long, until it withered, rotted, and returned to dust. It no longer existed. Now no matter how sincere her words sounded, they couldn't stir my heart anymore. My phone vibrated again. Anna sent another message. "Gio, I want to eat too." I smiled and replied, "Sure. Come over, my treat." Anna asked, "How really wouldn't I be interrupting you and Willow?" I replied, "No." I sent Anna the address. She said she'd arrive in 15 minutes. After that I looked up and said, "Sorry, what did you just say? Could you repeat it?" Willow, who had just been talking at length, looked completely speechless. She stared at me with an aggrieved expression, her eyes full of hurt. Then she started apologizing again. After hearing it too many times I felt tired. I stood up and said, "Let's end it here. I'm leaving. You eat by yourself." With that I hurried away. Behind me Willow called out, "George, the first don't agree to breaking up." I let out a deep sigh. Some people say they can't understand their past selves. I couldn't even understand the me from yesterday, how I could have been so distraught over Willow. I used to be terribly afraid of losing her, constantly anxious, lying awake night after night. I never expected that I'd be the one to bring up the breakup. And after doing so I felt not the slightest trace of reluctance. I walked out of the restaurant and waited downstairs. Soon a tall figure in a black dress appeared at the entrance. When Anna walked into the lobby, it was like a beam of light pouring in. Everyone's gaze was drawn to her uncontrollably. She was simply too beautiful. I didn't greet her right away. I just watched her. Anna wasn't smiling. Her expression was cool and distant, her eyes dark and deep. Only then did I realize that her sweet-looking face when not smiling could be so strikingly cold and glamorous. After entering she glanced around. She soon spotted me and suddenly her eyes curved into a smile. In that instant it was as if spring swept across the earth overnight, thousands upon thousands of pear blossoms bursting into bloom. She walked up to me, bent slightly at the waist with a smile, and said, "Gio, I'm here." I stood up from the sofa and said with a smile, "Come on, I'll take you to eat something good." We chatted and laughed as we went upstairs. Just as we reached the entrance of the restaurant, Willow happened to come out, her eyes red. Seeing us, her eyes widened slightly. "You too?" Anna spoke obediently. "Willow, I heard you and Gio were eating here. May I join you?" Willow froze. Anna then added politely, "I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just happened to be nearby. If Willow minds I can leave." I tugged Anna gently and said, "No need to mind her. I'll treat you separately." Anna looked at me in surprise, then at Willow. "How could that be? I already interrupted your meal. I'm really sorry. The three of us should eat together." With that she linked her left arm through mine and her right arm through Willow's, who looked completely dazed, and led us into the restaurant. And just like that the three of us sat down together to eat. I was speechless. Willow was speechless too. Chapter 8. I signaled Willow with my eyes, hoping she would leave. But for reasons I couldn't quite understand she actually stayed. I thought about it. After all, it was just one meal. It didn't really matter, so I let her be. Anna picked up a piece of salmon and placed it on my plate. "Your favorite salmon?" I looked completely baffled. She winked at me. "We're childhood sweethearts, remember? I still know all your preferences." She went on to serve me other dishes as well. With my little sister being this enthusiastic, of course, I didn't refuse. I ate while chatting with her. We'd been apart for too many years, each of us having gone through so much. Naturally, we had endless things to talk about. Willow tried several times to cut in. Gio, this one's really good. Gio, do you want some lemon juice? Gio, that movie recently? I replied politely but perfunctorily, then continued chatting with Anna. Unable to join in, Willow ended up eating alone, looking lonely. Seeing her like that, I was reminded of my former self. Ever since Makoto returned to the country, the two of them were constantly glued together. She and Makoto were childhood sweethearts, reminiscing about their childhood non-stop, always with more to say. I couldn't insert myself at all, only linger awkwardly on the side. Now the roles were reversed. If we were still a couple and I noticed I was neglecting my partner, I would definitely have stopped talking to Anna and taken Willow's feelings into account. But we had already broken up. Why should I care about her feelings? What's more, she had never cared about mine in the first place. After dinner, just as we stepped outside, Willow finally couldn't hold back anymore. She chased after us and grabbed my arm. George, did you deliberately bring this woman here to provoke me? Her voice was furious and the way she looked at Anna was filled with hatred. I froze for a moment, then pried her hand off. Willow, don't flatter yourself. Her eyes were already red. She pointed at Anna, aggrieved. Ever since she appeared, you've ignored me and treated me coldly. I frowned. Ever since Makoto appeared, haven't you treated me the same way? Willow snorted coldly. So it really is revenge. You deliberately found someone to make me angry. As she spoke, she actually seemed a little pleased. She adjusted her clothes and said to Anna, did George pay you to pretend to be close to him? How much did he give you? I'll pay double. Just leave. Anna stared at her in shock, then looked at me completely at a loss. Gio, I stepped in front of her and said sharply to Willow, Willow, I wouldn't stoop to doing the kind of thing you're talking about. Stop making a scene. Willow panicked and said, I'm sorry, George, the first really no, I was wrong now. From now on I won't go out with Makoto on Valentine's Day anymore, okay? I was about to speak when Anna suddenly exclaimed in surprise, oh my god, sister. You didn't seriously not know that yesterday wasn't just Valentine's Day but also brother's birthday, did you? Anna then turned to me. Brother, your girlfriend is so awful. Unlike me, I've always remembered your birthday and I even prepared a birthday gift for you. I was speechless. Rubbing my temples, I said to Willow, who you spend holidays with has nothing to do with me. I don't care. With that, I grabbed Anna's hand and walked away in big strides. When we reached downstairs, Anna asked cautiously, Brother Gio, we just left like that. Won't Willow be upset? I sneered. What does her being upset have to do with me? Anna sighed. I just wanted to have a meal with you. I didn't expect things to get this messy. Brother, can I still eat with you in the future? She looked at me eagerly. I said, of course you can. Anna said happily, that's great. Actually, there's nothing improper between us at all, but Willow keeps suspecting us. Sighed Gio, there are some things I don't know whether I should say. I replied, go ahead. Anna hesitated, then said, I think Willow is pretentious and always stirring things up. She's also so fierce. Your girlfriend is really scary. Not like me. I only feel sorry for you, Gio. I froze. Anna continued, she's also unclear with that guy, completely disregarding your feelings. Someone like that isn't a good match. Of course, maybe I'm being nosy. If this makes you uncomfortable, I won't say any more. I was speechless. Is this how pretentious coquettes are finding every opportunity to sow discord? I said, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Anna looked at my expression and said softly, Over the next few days, Willow came to my company every single day to look for me. Anna also invited me out daily. Recently I'd taken on a new project and was swamped, so I turned them all down. Willow gradually became haggard. She even started standing guard downstairs at my place. When I saw her waiting below my building, I sighed, but still ignored her. I never imagined I could be this heartless. Once I said we were breaking up, it was as if all feelings truly vanished. I had once imagined that if Willow ever broke up with me, I'd be utterly pathetic, kneeling and begging her to come back. Turns out I wouldn't do that at all. Anna was very considerate. After learning I was busy, she stopped bothering me so often and instead left messages for me on WeChat. She even thoughtfully said, Gio, just reply whenever you have time. I'm not in a hurry. scene that made me feel very comfortable. Compared to Willow's relentless clinging, Anna was much more understanding. A bit of a pretentious coquette, but unexpectedly enjoyable. I realized something. It's not that I hate pretentious coquettes. I just hate it when I'm not the one they're being pretentious for. Thinking it through that way, many of the knots in my heart finally loosened. Chapter 9. Less than 2 days later, Willow suddenly showed up during work hours. Under the envious gazes of everyone around, she walked up to my desk and took out a small box. "George, this is the birthday gift I picked out for you. I spent several days choosing it. I don't know if you'll like it." Amid the teasing and cheers from my coworkers, I pressed down on the box and pushed it back toward her. I don't like discussing private matters in public. So many people still didn't know that Willow and I had already broken up. I said, "What a rare occasion, Miss Liu. This is actually the first time I've ever received a gift from you. I really can't accept it. Besides, my birthday was ages ago. Isn't it a bit late for this?" Willow Liu froze, then said anxiously, "George." I thought for a moment, then said, "Oh right. On Valentine's Day I gave you a necklace. You were in such a hurry to go be with Makoto that you forgot to take it. You left it at that restaurant. I don't know if it's still there." I found the phone number of the Starry Sky restaurant and dialed it. The call was picked up quickly. To my surprise, it was the same server from that day. "Hello, would you like to make a reservation?" "No," I said. "I'm calling to ask whether you happen to find a gift box. There was a heart-shaped necklace inside." The server asked, "May I ask who you are?" I replied, "I had dinner there on the night of the 19th. I booked a private room. My ex-girlfriend left in a hurry and even took 2 bottles of red wine with her. You stopped me afterward to settle the bill. Do you remember?" Willow's entire body jolted. Her face turned pale. The server said, "I remember." I asked, "Did you find the necklace?" "Yes, we did." I let out a breath of relief. "Thank you. I'll come pick it up when I have time." After hanging up, I looked at Willow. "You probably don't want it anymore, right? If you don't, I'll take it back and return it. Then again, we're already broken up. There's no way you'd still have the nerve to want it." Willow shook her head desperately and said sadly, "I'm sorry. I was in such a rush that day that I forgot to take it. I really am sorry." I shrugged indifferently. "It's fine. I understand. Your Makoto was sick, almost dying, wasn't he? Of course you had to rush over to see him one last time. It's only natural that you'd abandon me." I continued, "The only thing is the way you did it was pretty ugly. You were in such a hurry, yet you still remembered to grab 2 bottles of red wine to take to him. Quite romantic, actually. But that's fine. Spending a little money to clearly see what kind of person my girlfriend was, I think that was worth it. As for this," I pointed at the box in her hand, "my birthday's long past. Giving this now is meaningless. We've already broken up. You should stop contacting me in the future." Willow's eyes were already red. She said, "George, I'm really sorry." Her gaze was filled with regret and sorrow as she kept apologizing. I shook my head. "You don't need to worry. On my birthday I received the best gift." I tugged up my sleeve and showed my watch. "See, Anna gave this to me." When Willow saw the watch, her lips trembled. She stood there stunned. I said, "You should leave. Don't disturb everyone while they're working." I sat back down at my desk and continued working. The people around us exchanged looks. Willow had no face left to stay. She packed up her things and left. After she was gone, a coworker asked me, "George, did you two break up?" I replied, "Yeah." The coworker pointed at my watch. "Wait, George, who gave you that? Did you snag a rich woman? Isn't that a Patek Philippe?" I froze. What? He looked even more shocked. "You didn't know?" He immediately took out his phone, opened a page and handed it to me. "Look for yourself." I glanced at the image. It was exactly the same watch. Then I looked at the price. I sucked in a sharp breath. No way, 800,000. After getting off work, I rushed to the nearest boutique. The staff confirmed that it was genuine. My emotions became complicated. Anna sent another message on WeChat. "Brother Gio, I went back to our old house today. Look, this is the tree in the courtyard." Attached was a photo of a tall magnolia tree. Long-buried memories were suddenly awakened. The first time I met Anna was in my first year of high school. I heard from my parents that Anna's family had gone bankrupt and been forced to move out of their mansion, renting a place in our residential complex instead. That day was sunny. The magnolia flowers were in full bloom. I was biting into a piece of bread, hurrying downstairs. As I passed through the courtyard, I caught sight of a beautiful girl standing beneath the magnolia tree, like a delicate porcelain doll. Her expression was cool and distant, her eyes like inorganic black gemstones, utterly indifferent. I glanced at her once, then turned and walked away. That was the first time Anna and I met. She moved in next door. For a long time after that we only saw each other occasionally and had no interaction. Until one day when I came home and accidentally ran into a crowd of people surrounding the door next door demanding repayment. I looked up and saw Anna hiding on the upper stairwell, nervously peering down. I felt sorry for her, so I secretly brought her back to my home. After that day, Anna's parents came to thank us in person. Whenever something came up, they would send Anna over to our place. Anna was very well behaved and quiet, seemingly a bit withdrawn. I was busy with my studies and didn't bother talking to her much. I simply made space for her and let her do her own thing. 3 years passed like that. Later I vaguely heard that the Sue family's debts had been resolved and that they might be moving back to their mansion. Anna Sue finally started smiling again. She grew closer to me, following me around and calling me Brother Gio. Not long after that, Anna's parents suddenly died in a car accident. A group of relatives went mad fighting over the inheritance, turning everything upside down. Anna squatted in the stairwell crying pitifully. Once again I brought her home. At that time I was preparing for the college entrance exam and had no energy to look after her. I just let her do whatever she could on her own. After the exam ended, Anna was taken away by her grandfather. By the time I entered university, she told me she was going abroad. Chapter 10. I sent Anna a message. "Why did you give me something so expensive?" Anna replied, "It's not expensive." I was shocked. 800,000 and you say that's not expensive? Anna sent back. 800,000? Is that expensive? I was speechless. I had known for years that Anna was probably from a wealthy family, but I never imagined that an 800,000 watch would be described as not expensive. I called Anna. "Let's have a meal together." Anna happily accepted the invitation. After we finished eating, I handed the watch back to her. "I can't accept this." Anna looked at me. "Brother Gio, you don't like it?" The way she stared at me made me inexplicably nervous. I explained, "I really can't take it. Accepting something this expensive from someone else. I didn't have the face for that." After I insisted repeatedly, Anna finally took the watch back. I let out a sigh of relief. But the very next second, she suddenly stood up and smacked the watch out the window. Then she turned back to me with a gentle smile. "If you don't like it, I'll throw it away. I'll buy Gio another one." I jumped out of my seat in horror and rushed downstairs like an arrow. The restaurant was halfway up the mountain, quiet and secluded. There was no one below. I quickly spotted the watch on the open ground. The crystal face was already shattered. 800,000, that was 800,000. My heart ached so badly I could barely breathe. I clutched my chest in agony. Anna walked over looking puzzled. "What's wrong, brother?" I forced out the words with difficulty. "How could you throw it away? It's broken," she said with a soft smile. "If Gio doesn't like it and I don't want to give it to anyone else, then I'll just throw it away and break it. That way it doesn't matter anymore." Her gentle tone, her lingering gaze, it made my scalp tingle. I swallowed and said, "Actually, I do like it. I just thought it was too expensive." Her eyes lit up instantly. "Really, brother likes it?" I said. "Really?" Anna suddenly leaned closer, stood on tiptoe, and her sweet voice brushed against my ear. "It's all my fault. I broke something Gio likes. I'm sorry." My whole body stiffened. My mind went completely blank. Why did she suddenly? Anna said, "Then Gio, how should I make it up to you?" Her arms looped around my neck as she pressed against me. I could vaguely feel the heat of her body. A cold wind blew past, yet I felt strangely overheated. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, she let out a soft hum. "Gio is always like this. Whenever it's a question that's hard to answer, you just stop talking." After a moment she released me, stood straight, and said with a smile, "Let's go back upstairs." For reasons I couldn't explain, I followed her back up without saying a word. Back at the table, Anna smiled and served me food. The awkwardness from earlier seemed to vanish. I could talk to her naturally again. After dinner I went home in a daze, washed up, and went to sleep. Half asleep, half awake, I suddenly dreamed of Anna standing on tiptoe and leaning close to me. In the dream she didn't let go. Instead, she undid the ties, slipped out of her dress, and then I jolted awake, daylight streaming in. After sitting there blankly for a moment, I slowly covered my face. I was done for. I actually had those thoughts about Anna. I got up sluggishly and went to wash up. When I looked up, the mirror reflected a face clearly suffering from excessive inner heat. I hurriedly picked up my phone and searched for calming mantras. After reciting one round, I finally calmed down. At noon during lunch break, I was just about to go eat when Willow showed up at my desk again. George the first ignored her and continued packing my things. Willow said, "George, I've already made things clear with Makoto. We won't have any contact anymore." I rubbed my temples and said, "That has nothing to do with me. Please don't come and disturb me again." I was really sick of people bringing private matters into the workplace, and even more sick of someone coming to the office because of personal issues. Yet she wouldn't let it go, clinging to me and begging for forgiveness. I snapped, "Why are you so immature? Look at Anna. She never interferes with my work. Why can't you learn from her?" Willow froze. Her lips trembled and her eyes reddened with grievance. Suddenly I remembered how she used to compare me to Makoto as well, accusing me of clinging and pestering her. Thinking about it that way, I didn't feel guilty at all. I lowered my head and noticed a familiar-looking box on my desk. I opened it. Another watch. I froze. "Who put this here?" A colleague beside me said. "George, a gorgeous woman came by and said you left your watch with her last night." He then winked at me excitedly. "Man, that beauty was insanely pretty, prettier than a celebrity. You must have had a great night." How I was speechless and embarrassed. Get lost. Stop talking nonsense. It had to be Anna. But no, why did she buy me another watch again? Willow completely lost it. She grabbed me and shook me while shouting, "Was it Anna? Did you sleep with her last night? Did you two have sex?" Just as Willow was shaking me so hard my head was spinning, smack. With a sharp sound, Willow was suddenly slapped hard across the face. Anna asked me calmly, "Are you okay? Why is she still harassing you, Brother Gio?" I replied, "I'm fine." I straightened my collar and asked, "What's with this watch?" Anna smiled gently. "Didn't you say you liked it? I broke the last one, so of course I had to compensate you." I was at a complete loss for words. What kind of virtue did I have to deserve this? That was 800,000, not $80. No, now it was 1.6 million. How was I supposed to repay that? I worked myself to death every month just to make 20,000. I wanted to return it again, but I was afraid she'd suddenly lose her mind like last night and throw it out the window to shatter it. So I hesitated and didn't move. Willow straightened up and shouted viciously at Anna, "Anna, you homewrecker, how dare you steal my boyfriend?" Anna blinked innocently. "Willow, don't misunderstand. Although Gio and I were together last night and we did everything we should and shouldn't have done, we're still very innocent." Willow snapped again and rushed forward. My head was pounding. I stepped between them and roared, "Enough, get out, all of you. Get out." Both women were driven out of the office. Chapter 11. After they left, my co-workers immediately swarmed around me, giving me thumbs up. "George, you're really living the life. Both of them are beauties. Left arm, right arm. Living like an immortal, two gorgeous women fighting over you. This is my first time seeing that. TSK. Willow is pretty sure, but the other one is even prettier. You didn't just dump Willow because you got tired of her and switched to a younger, prettier one, did you?" The more they talked, the more outrageous, and the dirtier it got. I cut them off. "Stop talking nonsense. Anna is my sister." The coworkers all laughed. "Sister, more like love sister." Another coworker chimed in, "No, seriously, getting a gift that expensive, I wouldn't even dare dream about it. Honestly, bro, these next few days you should hit the gym, lift some weights, brush your teeth extra, use more mouthwash, take your meds an hour earlier, and don't skip the goji berries. Your sister-in-law is way too good. Learn to behave. If you don't, I'll be knocking on her door saying, 'I'm your brother now.'" Someone else added, "I've already sent this to my wife. Brothers, wait for my good news." I snapped back to reality, my mind in complete chaos. So I blocked Willow and stopped responding to Anna as well, throwing myself fully into wrapping up my work. That Friday, Orange Group held a charity gala. Our company's boss was invited and planned to bring a few people along. Because I'd performed well on a recent project, I was lucky enough to be included. The banquet hall glittered with lights, a sea of elegant dresses and tailored suits. An event like this had nothing to do with a small fry like me. My coworkers and I hid behind the champagne tower, focusing entirely on the food. Halfway through eating, a coworker nudged me. "Hey look, your love sister." I looked up and immediately spotted Anna in the crowd. She was wearing a form-fitting haute couture gown, her hair tied into a sleek side ponytail. Tall and graceful, she stood out effortlessly. She saw me and walked over with a radiant smile. I also noticed Willow and Makoto nearby. Both were dressed formally, subtly tugging at each other. Willow's face was dark. Makoto kept saying something, his expression pleading. Willow seemed fed up. She shook his hand off and turned away. Then she saw me. Her eyes lit up and she started walking toward me too. A bad feeling rose in my chest. I swallowed the steak forcefully and quickly tried to slip away. A coworker asked, confused, "Hey George, where are you going?" I headed straight for the side corridor without looking back. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Anna and Willow chasing after me, just as expected. "George, brother Gio." I took a deep breath, stopped, turned around and smiled. "Good evening. At an occasion like this, surely they wouldn't go crazy." I smiled politely. "What a coincidence, you're both here too." Anna walked up to me and said, "Gio, come with me." Willow snapped, "He's coming with me." The two locked eyes, tension crackling between them. My head instantly started to ache. At that moment, Makoto staggered over as well, clearly having had too much to drink. In a hoarse voice, he said, "Willow, please listen to me." The next second, his foot slipped. He lurched forward and collapsed onto Willow, pressing heavily against her, nearly knocking her to the ground. Makoto straightened up, swaying, and said drunkenly, "Sorry, the floor's slippery." As he spoke, he took the opportunity to wrap an arm around Willow's waist and shot me a sly smile. I frowned. Just looking at his sleazy expression irritated me. Anna glanced at me, tugged my hand, and said, "Gio, let's go." I turned to leave. Suddenly Anna slipped. With a soft cry, she fell straight into my arms. I instinctively caught her, and Anna took the opportunity to wrap her arms around my neck. The next second, Willow completely snapped. She threw Makoto aside and rushed over. "Let go of him." Anna quickly released me. "Sorry, I slipped just now." "Thank you, Gio." I forced myself to calm down. "It's fine." Willow flew into a rage and raised her hand at Anna. "Anna, I won't let you off." "Let go of him." Anna hid behind me. "Gio, look at her. She's so scary." Something about that sentence seemed to trigger Willow. Her eyes instantly turned bloodshot as she lunged forward, shouting, "You damn pretentious coquette, I've put up with you for long enough, go to hell." Anna didn't fight back. She took a hit to the chest. A surge of fury exploded inside me. I kicked Willow hard and shouted, "Get lost." Willow turned back in disbelief, on the verge of tears. Choking up, she said, "George, you're protecting her instead of me. Don't you love me anymore?" I roared back, "Love my ass." Anna showed a flicker of smugness, then quickly suppressed it, clutching her chest. "It hurts." My heart clenched. I immediately checked her and asked anxiously, "Are you okay?" Anna whimpered softly. "It hurts." I supported her and turned to Willow. "Willow, can you stop making a scene? We broke up a long time ago. Stop clinging to me. If you keep targeting Anna, I won't let you off." Willow stood there frozen, looking like she was about to shatter. Beside me, Anna suddenly asked, "You two broke up a long time ago?" I nodded. "Yeah, we broke up a while back." "Are you all right? Let's go see a doctor." Anna immediately straightened up. Then what was I holding back? For the next second, she marched over, grabbed Willow by the hair, and smack, smack, smack. 3 loud slaps landed squarely on Willow's face. I was speechless. I stood there completely dumbfounded. Chapter 12. After that day, all 4 of us became notorious. Only later did I learn that Anna was actually the granddaughter of the chairman of Yunjong Group. Back then, Anna's parents had fallen out with her grandfather and left to strike out on their own, only to end up bankrupt. With no other choice, they went back to seek the old man's help, and the debts were finally resolved. But just as they were preparing to move back home, they were killed in a car accident. The relatives who had come to make trouble were from Anna's mother's side of the family. On her father's side, the relatives were also wary of her. After that, the old man sent Anna abroad. The family situation was complicated, and the old man was busy with countless affairs. He didn't pay her much attention. Each month he would transfer money, then leave Anna to fend for herself overseas. Anna had actually had a pretty hard time these past few years. Later, Anna insisted that I take her to the hospital. In the car she tugged at my sleeve and said, "Gio, since you've already broken up, how about being with me?" My mind was in complete chaos. I didn't answer. Anna suddenly said coldly, "Stop the car." The driver pulled over. Anna jumped out and ran off. I panicked and chased after her. "What are you doing?" She staggered forward, wiping her tears as she walked. "If Gio doesn't want me, I might as well just die." My head ached. I caught up to her. "Don't be like this. Let's go to the hospital." Anna refused to cooperate. "I'm not going. I said go to the hospital. Stop messing around." She replied, "I'm not going." She turned her head away, eyes red. "Gio, if I can't be with you, then living has no meaning." I froze, totally stunned, mind completely blank. The night breeze was cool, almost biting. After a long moment, she walked back to me, lifted her tear-filled eyes, looked straight at me, and said softly, "I know Gio doesn't like me. Forget it. I'll behave and go to the hospital. I won't make things hard for you." Then she said, "I'm sorry, Gio, for making you worry. I won't be so willful anymore. I hope you can forgive me." I let out a deep sigh, grabbed her hand, and said, "How could I ever bring myself to blame you?" Anna forced a small smile and staggered back into the car. She said, "I know there's still Willow in Gio's heart. That's my fault. I won't argue like this again. I'll quietly hide my feelings. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have confessed so suddenly." I shook my head helplessly. That pretentious coquette vibe was spilling everywhere, no cap. I knew perfectly well she was acting, putting on a whole show, yet I still fell for it anyway, like an idiot. At that moment, I finally understood Willow a little. A pretentious coquette really is insanely hard to resist. I rubbed my temples and said, "I've already broken up with Willow. There's nothing left between us. If we're together from now on, don't bring her up again." Anna suddenly looked at me. "Brother Gio, what do you mean?" I smiled and sat down beside her. "I mean, I want to be with you." Her eyes lit up instantly. She grabbed my hand tightly. "Really? You're willing to be with me?" I nodded. "Yeah." Even knowing she was a pretentious coquette deliberately playing on my sympathy, I still fell for it willingly. What else could I do? We could only be together. I said, "Let's try being together for a while. If it doesn't work out, we'll separate." Anna threw herself into my arms, her body burning hot. "Gio, we won't separate." I smiled, patted her back and said, "All right, we won't separate." What Willow taught me was that love is way too hard. Since I'm single now and I like Anna, then I might as well be with her. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we part ways. Chapter 13. After the charity gala, Willow and Makoto officially fell out. Later, I heard that Makoto and Willow had a massive fight. He completely broke with her and, in a rage, moved to another city. Because Willow lost control at the banquet and also got involved in some company-related information leaks, she was voluntarily forced to resign. After that, I never saw her again. On the day she left, she came to the company looking for me. I ignored her. A coworker passed along a message for her. "Sorry, George. I wish you happiness in the future." After hearing that, I fell silent. My 2-year relationship with Willow ultimately ended with nothing to show for it. I had been hurt, angry, and struggled through it, but in the end I walked out, regained my calm, and even met a new girlfriend. Now things are pretty good. I no longer think about Willow. I originally thought that after getting together with Anna, we'd probably break up soon. I didn't expect that a year later, we still hadn't. Given my own situation, I felt I wasn't worthy of a wealthy heiress. I assumed someone would step in to stop us, but to my surprise, nobody cared at all. The old man had no demands of Anna and was ridiculously indulgent toward her. I even imagined someone throwing 10 million in cash in my face, telling me I wasn't worthy of Anna and ordering me to get lost. But none of that ever happened. After a year of dating Anna, absolutely no one interfered. I honestly felt that even if I took her to register our marriage one day, no one would bother stopping us. During our relationship, there wasn't even any jealousy-fueled drama. In novels, there's usually at least some vicious male supporting character who comes out swinging for the woman. For someone like Anna, a rich, beautiful woman, there should have been tons of guys eyeing her. Yet for an entire year, nothing like that happened. Everything was calm and smooth. I was honestly a little shocked. Later, I finally found out why. The moment anyone showed even the slightest hint of pursuing her, Anna would immediately shut them down. And for the truly thick-skinned ones who kept harassing her, she showed zero mercy. She just slapped them 3 times on the spot. You could say she was a perfectly sealed egg. No matter how many flies there were, none could get a bite. Knowing all this, my feelings became complicated. Thinking back on my time with Willow, if Willow had been as firm as Anna from the very beginning, if she had clearly and decisively rejected Makoto and left him absolutely no room, how could Makoto have kept pestering her again and again? Willow must have given him ambiguous signals, making him think he had a chance. That was why he repeatedly inserted himself into our relationship. Only after dating Anna and having a comparison did I finally understand that from start to finish, the one truly at fault was Willow. Because a normal person, once they're in a relationship, naturally keeps their distance from the opposite sex. There's no need to make your partner constantly suspicious and anxious. This year, I finally understood what a normal relationship looks like. I experienced mutual effort and genuine empathy. And then, later on, I finally took out a ring and proposed to Anna. To be honest, I hesitated and thought it over for a long time. Anna is amazing in almost every way, and I genuinely enjoy the time I spend with her. The downside is that her possessiveness is really strong. She's extremely clingy and can sometimes go to extremes. For example, when I tried to return her gift back then, she said she'd throw it away, and she actually did. Or that day when she was upset, she refused to go to the hospital even though she was injured. She's quite obsessive. To be real, I'm a little worried. She might be a Yandra. But then again, she kept pestering me, asking over and over, "Gio, when exactly are you going to let me take the official spot?" I stayed silent. She asked again, "Gio, when are you going to give me a proper status?" I scratched my head. She pouted and said, "Gio, you're always like this. Whenever it's a question that's hard to answer, you just go quiet." I was speechless. But honestly speaking, she really is beautiful. And she's always pulling that pretentious coquette routine on me. That pitiful, vulnerable look, straight up heart-wrecking and impossible to resist. And unfortunately, I fall for it every single time. So in the end, I bought the ring, proposed, and registered the marriage. After all, I have absolutely no resistance to pretentious coquettes. And to Anna, I have even less.